You know how we get down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
You know how we get down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, this is Ed for Heights of Gaming. We're going over the green cards today from Innistrad. So, just to give you an overview, green doesn't have a lot of, zombies or vampires. It has mostly werewolves, and then it has a lot of fatties that are not really creatures from the set. They're going to be like tree folk and, some kind of like spiders and stuff like that, snakes. There's a lot of cards that don't really work that great with other cards in the set. There's some assistance for white. There's some assistance for red. I don't think green is a very strong color on its own. They do have a couple mono bombs that you could get. Those are mythic rares. They're hard to get, and also there's just not a lot of great support otherwise. So let's take a look at what's going on. Ambush Viper for a 2/2/1 Death Touch Flash. He's a pretty decent creature. Doesn't really work well with the other cards in the set, but he could take care of a big problem on the board. They're hitting with the big guy, and you jump in and block. The problem is that there's the bigger guys. Some of them have trample, a lot of them have evasion, so it's not always going to save you. We have a Llanowar Elves that gives you white mana, and it's a human. That's nice. It works well with the white-green combo. We have a card that destroys non-creature permanent. If the Planeswalkers were more of a issue, that would be interesting. 4 mana is a lot. You could maybe destroy a enchantment. It's overcosted though. You'd rather use a naturalize, something like that. Also, if you're using green-white, there's a lot of enchantment destruction. You can't destroy a creature, and in draft and limited, probably creature is going to be some of your biggest problems. Here we see Caravan Vigil. We see that it's kind of like an improved rampant growth. You can get if you kill a creature, you can rampant growth it out for just 1 mana. However, if you cannot, then you just get a land to your hand. It's a nice mana fixer. Green is okay support card. Support color, but I don't think it's a good main color. Creeping Renaissance means that you can get some hand advantage. Dark Thicket Wolf isn't going to get too big. He could become a 4/4 for 5 mana. Not that exciting. The werewolves are pretty good. You could see that for 3 mana we could get a 4/4 that can have the ability to fight a target creature. But werewolves, like we said before, they have their own particular mechanic that they need to have turns go by without people casting spells. So ideally, when you're drafting, you want to play out your hand. You want to have a good mana curve. You want to be able to cast the max amount of mana spell on every turn. But werewolves kind of disrupt that particular game plan. So am I a big fan of werewolves? The fact that they added low drop mana werewolves makes things a lot better, because while they're trying to keep your low guy from transforming, then your big guys hit the field later, and they all transform at the same time. Transforming some pretty big turns. But I do feel vampires are better just because earlier on they have evasion, they have some pretty good effects. The werewolves are okay, but they're just not as strong as the vampires early game. Later on, they do become total houses. They do kick some serious butt, but there are ways to prevent them from transforming. They're not 100% reliable. Essence of the Wild is definitely a bomb card. 6 mana to make all your monsters into 6/6s. You probably want to run, in limited, you'd probably be lucky to get 1 of him. If you get 2 of him, wow, you're amazing. And if you could get, a whole bunch of little guys in terms of 6/6s, that would be pretty cool. Full Moon Rise, +1/+0, they have trample. Regenerate werewolf creatures you control, that's cool, but your werewolves have to become werewolves first. It's not that easy. You got a 4, boar trampler. Once again, we see that, green has a lot of cards that are not zombies, that are not werewolves, that are not humans, not really working well with a lot of other cards in the set. Group Relentless, he's just doesn't have a real way to transform himself again. He's a 0. Both his mana abilities are 0s. He's not that strong when it comes out. He's only a 3. That means he needs certain things to work. He needs guys who are smaller than him in order to transform. He needs, you can make wolf tokens though, it's okay. Those tokens do not have any particular effects, but there are some cards that pump up wolf tokens and other things that pump up tokens. So, while it seems like it wants to work with black, this this side guy, the fact that there's a white card that says you can pump up tokens makes him work better, I think, in a green-white deck. Here we have some werewolves, some solid werewolves again. This wall, 3/4 wall. Walls are not exciting. They are not going to win you the game. They cannot attack. Gutterground is cool. It's 5 mana for enchantment that can make you, a bunch of slimes. Slime's not really working well with other, ooze tokens. They're not making a lot of other, ooze support creatures, but there is that token support card in white, so there is that possibility. Gaining life, once again, it's okay. 5 mana for 4/5 and possibly gaining 5 life. Green does not have any real strong removal. Also the creatures are not that awesome. They don't have that touch like a lot and things like that, so I wouldn't really look to that. Here's a 7 mana, an insect, a large insect with trample. Isn't that nice? Doesn't really work well with other cards in this deck. Doesn't have evasion. It's okay, but Moon Mist is something that's pretty cool. It can transfer all your humans and make your werewolves into something that's actually playable, or make them have a little bit more consistency. Moon Mist is something that's interesting. If I was, I would think about taking it like as a higher pick just for that trick. But remember that transforms all humans. So if your opponent is running humans that are werewolves, then is that really good for you? Not really. I would take that card only if I was definitely planning on going werewolves. Okay, Mulch, you can accelerate cards into your graveyard, parallel lives, double your tokens, that's pretty nice. Over here we have Ranger's Guile, you only pump for +1/+1, and then you have Hexproof. It's nice to keep your guys from getting roasted. The Hexproof is nice, it's kind of like a powered down Vines of Vastwood, but I just don't think that it is as good, the pump is just very small. I'd rather have a +3/+3, honestly. The Hexproof is nice. There's not a lot of removal in the set. This removal is kind of like high powered, like high costing, especially in black. Red has some of the best removal, and those removals a lot of times are global. That means your creature will not be protected. Prey Upon is nice removal for green. One of the few removals. We have some token generators, so we can see this happens. Here we have a plant, 0/13. This card's super annoying. This plant thing, you'll be able to defend yourself from the largest attacks, and then you'll be able to make your life points. You could take significant damage and then make your life points 13 again and again and again. Your opponents will have to find a way to deal 13 or more damage all in one turn, with this guy blocking, your biggest guy, or they will have to, find a way to get rid of this creature. So that's pretty cool. And really, that's, green has Wrath of Geist, which is a enchantment that makes you guys bigger. Just not that exciting for green. Sorry. All right, there you go.
You know how we get down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.